of my security. Busan.
People still in the subway.
You use too much.
It was a little bit creepy.
If you're eating like this, that's not good.
Weekend for family.
I only just arrived in Korea, but on the plane, everyone was like super quiet, super polite to each other. Everyone was saying like thank you so much, like all the time. Like we didn't really like say that much thank you, but like that was kind of a little culture shock. That was one. And the other one was everyone is so well dressed. They really take care of themselves, like appearance-wise and stuff like that. And I was kind of shocked as well. Oh, another culture shock. You use cash too much. In Australia, we don't use as much cash now. Like it's kind of all Apple Pay or credit card, debit card. That's also a culture shock. I'll be more prepared next time. I'll prepare a lot of cash next time. And another culture shock is you are very kind. Thank you so much.
Yes, here is so much cold. Like in Brazil it's summer and here it's winter, and I never felt so cold like this. And the streets are very clean. In São Paulo that isn't. And the person here are like so shy and quickly. In São Paulo we don't have that. I feel that there people are always run away and they are not like don't care for other people. I think that's different here. Especially the clean. It's so clean here. You don't see any trash.
What shocked me in Korean culture to French culture is the respect of the rule in general, like transport, traffic light, for example. Traffic light not passed. In French, traffic light is red. The French passed. And nothing to do with. But I think the food in Korean is very, very spicy. Very, very spicy for the French people. But delicious.
아, 네, 있어요. 술 너무 많이 마시니까 그거 진짜 카우치 쇼크였어요. 그거 처음 볼 때. 죽을 만큼 기억 없을 만큼 직장에 회식 가봤는데 제가 술 안 마셔요. 술 안 마시니까 술 안 마신 사람 그냥 술만 마시는 사람 보면 다 이렇게 보이니까 그래서 너무 신기했어요. 그거 어떻게 그 정도 마실 수 있지? 라고 그렇게 아 맞아 그 겨울에 완전 추운 날씨라도 슬리퍼 롱패딩만 입고 그냥 이렇게 돌아다닌 거. 그리고 그것도 안 입고 햇 같은 것도 많이 안 입잖아요. 여기서 아기들도 모자도 안 쓰고 추울 때. 근데 우리나라 가면 추우면 다들 다 이렇게 다 입고.
Yeah, the bus was really fast and taxi too. So I was a little bit aware of my security. Yeah, they had a good technique. So, Busan. This morning we have to go to the Busan station. Yeah, because of thanks to him, we had made it on time. So exactly like that. He was like, I was like, oh my god. That's really fast.
I don't think so. Maybe only it's really busy and everybody dresses really nice, but then when they put the shoes back on, they just like stomp it. They don't go down and take it out. They really stomp it. And I was shocked. Their shoes are so nice. I'm like, stop that. They don't take off their shoes a lot because if you go to like a gym or maybe a restaurant, anywhere, you don't take off your shoes. Yeah, only when you come home. And even some people wear their shoes in the home.
Yeah, well, I come from Mexico. Something that impacted me of the most is that I can just leave my things in everywhere and nobody will steal them. People like it's honesty. In Mexico, you leave something, they will extol immediately. Korea, that doesn't happen.
Not really a culture shock, but it's like the small nuances that you can see. For example, when I would give somebody something, people would use two hands, or they would just do like with one hand and hold the hand. We don't really have this. It's not a culture shock, it's just that I noticed this. The fashion and everything, like the beauty standards, maybe are really, it seems that people are pressured into some sort of a beauty standards. So I can see a lot of, people doing makeups in the subway. Also guys wearing makeup, and that's also something I don't see that often in Prague. And everybody looks like it's a normal thing, like people are still wearing things in their hair, like to make them curly in the subway. But it's not the culture shock, it's just that it's different.
It's not big culture shock, it's very surprising for me because many Koreans like evening every day spend on Shiktan. Kawashik's, drinks, and a lot of people like after work it's meet together. Usually in Russia it's Friday or Saturday evening, just 2 days. In Korea just work the week, Monday up to Friday, every evening. Weekend for family.
Yeah, weather. Cold weather. Our country is normal weather, summer and raining only. This country have a cold, different type of weather. Yeah, so cold. This is my first time so cold.
Probably they're like very disciplined, like the city like very clean and everything.
They follow rules. They're very strict and follow the rules and everything. That's made me, very.
And pretty smart too.
It's different. South America, the people is not disciplined at all. They doing whatever they want to do.
文化食皿お皿を持ってたらいけないご飯の時にホールド
Yes, meat. Koreans are meat lovers, and I'm vegetarian, so that's been a shock. It's hard to find restaurants where there's no meat anywhere, because I used to think French loved meats, but really not as much as Koreans do.
Yeah. I feel like in Korea, there are like certain standards for everything, like defined standards, like beauty standards or kind of standards. So, for example, one thing that shocked me is that people here, I feel they like the same kinds of dogs. When we were in Busan, just walking outside, I swear like 9 out of 10 of pet owners we saw, they had exactly the same race of dog. It was a little bit creepy. They had maybe Maltese or something like that. Yeah.
I think it's very, very cold, especially it's winter right now. Yeah. Of course, the language difference and transportation here are very modern compared to Indonesia. Like better transportation and also maybe from the food. What do you think? I agree.
Нет, я не испытывала культурный шок, но некоторые моменты были странные. Корейцы много пьют алкоголя, это да. Также иногда очень громко говорят в ресторане, когда выпивают алкоголь. Мне очень было необычно, что мужчины следят за собой и пользуются косметикой, декоративной косметикой. В России мужчины никогда не пользуются тоном, какими-то помадами цветными или брови не делают. Это никогда. Маникюр супер редко. Только женщины. А в Корее мужчины пользуются всем этим, и есть много косметики для мужчин. В России этого нет.
Yes, I was shocked when I firstly arrived here. The weather is really freezing. I never expect it to be that freezing, but actually I managed to, wear all this winter clothing. So yes, I managed to get through it. I did buy hot pack here. It was very helpful actually.
Yeah, we didn't really experience any culture shock, but one thing I was wondering about is whether or not it's socially acceptable to eat while holding a bowl of food, or do you have to have the bowl on the table? Because I just heard that that's one thing that you shouldn't do it. We're very informal. I think one thing growing up my father would tell me not to do is when I'm eating, you can't eat with your elbows on the table. If you're eating like this, that's not good.
No, I really like Korea so far. We've been the first night in Korea and we went to have a lovely Korean barbecue first time. But we really like it so far. We're going into Seoul tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow? I don't know. The only thing I know of Korea I've seen is Squid Games. You know Squid Games? Yes, I watched this. It's very good. Not yet.
Originally we are from Russia, but we are nomading for a few years and currently we stay in Vietnam and Thailand. No, not really, because it's a very modern country with a very developed city. Because we were only in Seoul, we didn't see other places, but since we are in Asia for some time, it feels very comfortable and nothing is shocking here.
Yeah, so basically shocking maybe in a good way, for it's very clean city, Seoul.
Good shock.
Not really. I grew up in Los Angeles, but I'm from Mexico originally, so kind of used to the difference in culture. A little bit. I guess just the food. But everybody's nice, so not too much of a culture shock.
Not really. I mean, I already expect, so I didn't have any culture shock. Because we already survey everything first before we come. When we so many subways, I think that's the only things that at first it was a bit confused, but after we have to experience, then only we are used to it. Yeah.
I shocked in the weather, winter. So cold. My first experience is freezing.
Korea, my shock thing is city is very bright and too much colorful. People are too much going. I'm very sure this thing is too much too much cameraman. I'm very shocked. I'm very shocked.
I really like the mindset of the Korean people. So for me, it's not a shock, but for many people there are. But for some people are like, oh, if you are foreigners, they're maybe mean to you. But I didn't experience that because I'm trying to integrate with Korean self. So if I'm going slowly, then they're like appreciate, like, whoa, nice.
Culture shock, no, because in my island too, there's a lot of foreign people, Chinese, Korean, Indian, and then even America, being in America, there's a lot of other people. So I experience a lot of culture. And in my culture, I respect our elders, older people. So I'm not really, the culture, no.